Okay. Emily, would you please call a roll for the meeting of Town of Lake Clark Shores Court Enforcement Board?
Paul Hughes,
Present.
Gerard Sanchez,
Present.
Ariel Hernandez,
Present.
Deb Moody,
Present.
Wesley Cook,
Present.
Taylor Materio.
Is absent. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The next item of business is our consent agenda, which includes the approval of the minutes of our October 26th meeting, any unfinished cases now in compliance, and any new cases now in compliance. Are there any corrections to the October 26th meeting minutes? Okay.
No.
Dana, do we have any unfinished cases now in compliance or new cases now in compliance on the agenda?
Yes. Number 9, case number 22-0294. They came in and paid their lien.
Okay.
Page 2, number 10, case number 22-0403, Sarah Harrison, in compliance.
Okay.
And then on page 3, under new cases, number 12, case number 22-0456, Alexander Averhoff and Sule Benscombe Cosme. They are also in compliance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The chair would entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
So moved.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, disclosure of visits. We'll ask any of the board members who have any firsthand information about any of the cases that come before us tonight or any discussions with any of the property owners, if you'd please acknowledge that at the time of our bringing the case up. Anyone here that's going to speak at the meeting tonight, if you would please stand and be sworn in by the town's attorney.
Over this way. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give me the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. The first case would be under our appeals. Citation 22-0450, Donald and Sherry Flinarski. I hope I pronounced it properly. If you would just let the code officer summarize what we're going to hear tonight, and then I'll ask you to come up if you don't mind, sir.
On October 28th of 2022, the property located at 7424 Venetian Way was issued a warning under section 46-13 subsection A for placing vegetation in the street. Also noted on that warning was letting them know a second would be a $125 fine. Then on November 14th of 2022, it was found that vegetation was placed in the roadway again. So therefore the $125 fine was issued.
Okay. Mr. Barneski, if you'd like to come and talk to us about what's happened.
Sure. I just wanted to show you a text message from my neighbor telling me on the 31st that he thinks my landscaper put my yard waste on your side of the street, and he apologizes. And he said they'll pick it up. So I'm not sure if that's it. So,
Do you want-
go ahead.
You want me to look at your picture and see? Because the officer went around and when
So
he
that-
went around, the first time the truck wasn't there, but then when he took, was it the
I'm
warning
talking
one?
about the warning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at the time of the warning.
There was two. There was one in front of your house and one there.
Yeah. So I'm not sure which one. Oh, that's another question. I hired a lawn guy and I'm not sure if that's it. But if the lawn guy puts it in front, it's my responsibility.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're the property owner.
Okay. What about the wind blows it there?
Well, if it came from your property, I would assume you'd be responsible for it.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The attorney, are you responsible for landscaping that comes off your property?
Well, I think you're responsible for having it properly stacked and stored, and if it would blow out into the street, you'd be your responsibility.
But I don't think you're responsible for
Come on over
if a
here,
tree falls
Mr. Swarnesky. Why don't you-
across your property. I don't think you're responsible for it.
Mr. Swarnesky, are you saying that the vegetation in the street on October 28th was not yours?
Yes, some of it was not mine. Some of it may have been mine. I don't know.
Some of it may have been yours.
Right. I didn't place any of it on the street.
And you got a notice, a warning.
Yeah, and I have a text
I'll show
message
you
from my
the-
neighbor.
The photos so that you can spit
Yeah.
it out on there. 'Cause
Okay,
You don't, you know.
okay.
So this is Mr. Swinarski's house is over here.
Yep,
It's got kind of a unique lot. It's pretty big.
uh-huh,
Kind of curves around from one side of Venetian and the back side.
mm-hmm,
So this curve here, his front of his house is over here.
Mhm.
So this is this pile. And then this is this pile. So the front of his house is here. So there's one pile here and one pile there.
Okay.
I will say for years, the vegetation's always been in the street, just like everybody on Venetian. There's always been a pile there, and it probably is a lawn man, and always a pile there. I don't know, I never would know whose that pile is, but
There's never a pile in either location.
it's been like that for years.
No,
The
not,
entire Venetian.
oh yeah, entire Venetian, but
Before
there's
this
never
whole
been
vegetation
piles
thing,
in either location
So
for me there.
They're always, I've been here 15 years. It's just a regular place. I know-
Yeah, I understand.
So what neighbor says that this one might be theirs?
Jeff Birkin.
okay, let me,
Okay, I would say, because it's not, his house is over here in the corner.
let us ask the questions, Dana, if you don't mind. Sir, you got a warning on the 28th,
Yes.
okay. And there's some question as to whether all that was yours or part of it was yours.
I don't know that any of it was mine.
You just said a minute ago that part of it may have been mine.
May have been mine.
Okay. And then on the 14th of November, it was out there again in the street.
No, did you see the picture on 14th of November? You should see that picture, but I got a ticket.
So
We don't have those on the,
Are these
This is
already
the one
part of
from the file.
evidence?
Officer Pullis took these photos. The other morning, he did both of these. I just helped him write them for them. So it was this one. And I asked him, because when I saw the photo, the truck was on it. He's like, oh, no, that vegetation's been there for days. Because
My wife took a picture too. so you
I
can
would
see
have
it.
thought Mr.
Okay.
Konarski would.
Is that
put it out
yours?
there. So that's why I asked
Yeah,
him.
but I just want you to see, it's leaves blown on the street. That's what I got a ticket for.
It looks like
On
a
front.
tree branch.
Okay.
It's like a branch with a bunch of leaves on it. That's what it is. But I asked the officer because Mr. Skolarski usually would take care of it. So I was like, kind of taken back that they would be there. And he's like, oh, no, it'd been there for a couple of days or whatever it said. So I was like, okay, I guess we have to issue it. That's
Okay.
what we do. Does anybody else want to pass it around?
anybody
Yeah.
need to see that?
Mr. Swinarski, may I see that photo, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
He went home and
Is
took a
that
picture.
is that a copy for us?
Yeah,
Okay.
I sent one in. But she went home and took a picture. when we got
And this-
citation.
And this is supposedly what date?
That's when the citation was issued, my wife drove home and took a picture of it.
So that's on the 28th or that's on the 14th?
That's on when the citation was issued for $125.
That's November 14th, but I thought you said the
Taken
truck
November
was on that one, on November 14th.
The photo that the officer took was a truck on it. It's a branch with leaves on it, or a couple of branches with leaves on it.
That's not even, this one is not in front of the driveway. It's in the driveway.
No, they're both on the back
No,
side.
I live on the end of Venetian, so my road, the whole road, I have like 500 feet.
This is
So that's why-
supposed to be what date?
Oh,
What date?
that's this photo.
What date?
November 14th, I believe.
Is there a motion to include this in the documentation?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd like to motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
Are the officers' photos already entered in as evidence?
Yeah, they're attached with the violation and citation.
All right,
Just what we normally do.
okay.
So does your yard man understand it's not supposed to be in the road?
I don't have a yard man.
Oh, you
He
don't,
happened to, the one incident that happened in October was, he lost his work truck, so I gave him some part-time work. So I was helping him out.
So you normally take care of your vegetation yourself?
No, that was that yard man. The other yard man just mulches it in. I take care of all my plants, so there's no.
It's over there.
But the actual rubbish or putting the trash, putting the pile of vegetation, is that something you do or you're?
That's what I do, yes.
and you understand it's not supposed to be out in the street?
Yes.
No, the location of the stuff that's in the street, that's not by your front door. You wouldn't drive into, or would you drive in to your house? Would you see that normally, or is it
No,
around in the backside and it's on the backside of your land?
yes.
So you have to go around that, around the end of Venetian to see it.
Well, let me ask you this, is this something that from here on forward, would you say, and I get it, some things are blown or whatever, some things aren't, so, or credit, but I guess and you got a big frontage, sounds like in your, so,
Like, it's not I have like 5 homes to edge because it goes the whole way.
right.
I don't have
I don't know if any of your neighbors even use Parsh because you have such a big thing that I don't know, does other vegetation get in there from other of your neighbors? I'm just curious.
Well, like Jeff will put vegetation across the street because he doesn't have any. He literally, his driveway and it stops. So if he normally puts vegetation, it's in his driveway. And he has like a single car driveway. So he has put vegetation across the street. And that's when he texted.
Because he's the one in the corner.
He's on the other side of the street.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I get, now we got 2, obviously, one warning, now the second. What would you have envisioned of hopefully this not be a reoccurring situation?
No, I understand. The second one, honestly, I don't know what the second one was. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
That doesn't look like a pile of vegetation to me.
Where your truck is and it's underneath,
That's not my truck. That's a landscaping truck.
is it in your driveway?
No, it's on the end of the road. So have you ever been down to the end of Venetian?
I'm sure I have,
Okay,
but I don't,
I'm all the way on the end and the road wraps around me. So,
Island part
pardon me?
on Venetian, because there's like one part where there's a house that starts like an island
Right, I'm on the far side of it.
of that island.
Right, so my driveway is right as you come in and then you can go another 500 feet around and continue on out.
Right.
Didn't that look like palm fronds?
Mhm. It does.
Do you have
to me.
palm trees that would produce palm fronds like that?
I do.
Okay, so that to me looks like what it is, palm fronds that may have come from your property.
My neighbors have palm fronds too.
Unfortunately, the fact that it's in front of your property or along the side of your property, you're the one that's being cited, whether it came from your neighbor's property or your property. Unless we saw them putting it there, I don't know how we would.
Well, I have a text
distinguish.
message that says my neighbors put vegetation in my yard. So
Did you get your neighbor to pay the ticket for
Dana,
you?
you saw the text message?
that's not my responsibility.
No, I've had no communication about either of these violations until tonight.
Okay.
Well, I understand why you're saying it may not be your responsibility, but if you're trying to work with your neighbor and your neighbor said, I'm sorry, I'm the one that put it there, and that's why you got a ticket, it seems like it would be between you and your neighbor and not necessarily between you and the town.
If you're asking me if I'm going to approach the neighbor to pay the ticket, I'm not.
Well, we can only assume that it came from you.
Okay.
I think there's some doubt as to where it came. And Mr. Swinarski obviously doesn't drive around his every day, drive around the long part around your property to check and see what's there. I'd just like to make a motion to dismiss the case. I think Mr. Swinarski is well aware of where he stands now, and he'll probably be a little more attentive to what's in the road, what isn't in the road. And
And if he were to be cited again,
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion's been moved and seconded to dismiss this case. Now we'll have further discussion on the motion to dismiss.
if he were to be cited again, then what would happen? It would go to the next
Oh.
level, correct? Or would,
I
how
don't,
would that be handled?
I don't think so. I think he would just get the $125 fine because we dismissed it.
Okay.
So I don't think it would be fair or proper to give him an increased fine if we.
No,
dismissed it.
I'm just curious. I want to be, clear
Yeah,
for yourself
and-
too, because I would want to know if I was in your.
And for the record, just so you know, I don't know if you guys have communicated, Mr. Birkin did get a warning because he did on one of the days, the officer was, he had some. And so I had to get with the town manager to come up with a solution. The only solution for him is to put his in a trash can only. Because there's nowhere else to put his, and I didn't have a solution for him, and that's what Mr. Clark said. So that shouldn't be an issue anymore if that is him doing it.
I didn't have a problem. I didn't even reply to him. I didn't have a problem with it.
Is there any further discussion?
I have one question. The warning that goes to the first violation, is that per calendar year or is that forever?
So it's a good question. At the last meeting, when one of the other residents asked it, I told them it was per calendar year, and that's honestly what I thought it was, but I keep trying to read through the ordinance a couple times, and I don't know if I'm missing it, but I can't find it. So I have to relook that up, or I don't know if maybe Emily knows.
I don't think.
I don't think it mentions it.
In the absence.
No.
So it would mean if he puts his in 5 years, if he puts it out there again, they get a fine?
Yeah, I mean, it does not say you one per year. I mean,
Oh, I don't know why I thought I read that.
at least
but
that I've seen.
So it's a lifetime thing.
It would be.
Homeowner, I guess,
Homeowner.
because that wouldn't be right if,
Yeah.
so I guess the only way it starts over is if you have a new homeowner.
Yeah, I think the idea is that there be a warning, and there is a warning. Now, it could be 2 years past, and then there's another violation. But I think that's sort of the way the code's written.
Mhm. Are you ready to vote
I am.
on the motion to dismiss? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Good luck on your house. I like how they did it's very neat.
Okay, the next case would be case number 220359, Damian Garcia.
Did we, did
What
you
about
give
5 inches?
Rasmussen?
Oh,
Seven.
excuse me. Okay, 220358, Michelle Ann and Stephen Rasmussen.
And yes, they're here.
Okay, Dana, would you like to?
Yes, shortly after the meeting, Mrs. Rasmussen called me, gave me kind of an update of what was going on with their driveway, that it would be in progress, and they have started Those are the old photos. As of today, there is no driveway. It's all dirt and the bobcats, and the workers have been there all week working on it.
Is that the picture, Dana?
Yes, that's the one I took earlier today. Nice big driveway. It's gonna be pretty. Is it gonna be concrete? Very nice.
So it's,
In progress.
You want to state your name, please?
Stephen Rasmussen.
Stephen, when do you think this is going to be completed? Do you know? Idea?
Friday of next week. Concrete's poured, scheduled for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. It was actually scheduled for today, but we had to get a form board survey. So that put us back another week. But the forms are in, everything's ready. We're just waiting to pour the concrete.
Terrific. Any questions, comments?
no, I think it's
Want to
technically still in violation and we just. I think-
continue until the next meeting?
Exactly.
Someone like to make a motion?
But you'll be in touch with Dana to make sure that she knows when you pass your final inspection so she can put you in compliance. So the fine will stop running.
That would be nice. All right.
Now,
Go ahead.
are we being fined on like a daily
Yes.
basis?
Yes.
Okay, so that'll continue until it's complete.
Until you're in compliance.
Okay. And then if I can kind of show the process, all the steps.
Absolutely, you're doing that.
So
Yeah.
for me, as soon as that driveway is done, let me know because I can check it. Because then I can say it's no longer in disrepair because I don't know if they would be behind on inspections and stuff. So I don't want you to get fined longer than you should. So
She's the one that'll. cut
yeah,
it.
just call me, let me know, and I'll swing over and check it.
My question is there an opportunity to have the fines dismissed?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
you can do that.
Appreciate the update
Okay.
and thank you for beautifying our.
So even if you're in compliance, you would come back to the January, you'll get an order, but just know the January 25th meeting, you would come back to discuss that then.
Okay.
At 6:30, same time.
I just have to follow with the formalities. So
you're
still in violation. So I'm going to be based on the testimony and evidence presented in the case number 22-0358. I move that this board find the respondents in violation of sections 34-20, 34-19, subset 9, subset B of the town code of ordinances. And I move that the response be ordered to correct the violation on or before January 25th of 2023. And if the respondents failed to comply with this order, a fine in the amount of, what was it last time? Did we have-
$50.
$50 may be imposed.
Well,
Or-
it's
or
already
continue.
imposed,
What
so
was that?
it's already imposed.
It's already imposed.
All right,
Okay,
you're
so
just continuing.
we're
what
just
we-
continuing.
Yes.
All right.
So it's really number one, order to continue that we need.
Well, then, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 22-0358, I move that this board continue this matter until code enforcement board hearing on January 25th of 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you both.
Okay, now case 22-0359, Damian Garcia. Safety issue with the pool. Dana?
Yes. So they have been in contact with me, waiting on their material. I did notice on Saturday, when I was working, the fence started to go up. As of today, the new photos show that the fence is up. I had a question, maybe for the attorney. The fence on the one side, it doesn't go all the way down to the ground. So I don't know if that's proper or is it our building department that signs off on that? I've never seen a fence have a gap from the ground to the top of the fence. I couldn't fit under there, but somebody much smaller than me could. So I don't know if that's like a new style or,
Is it shown in the photo?
yeah, there's two photos. The other one, we might have to zoom in because, I'm taking them from, see how that?
Oh, yeah.
Like I've never seen that before. I didn't know if it was a style or,
That's not finished grade.
It's my understanding.
okay. Okay. So there's still some more work to be
Yeah,
done.
that's
So,
not finished grade.
so can I say that it's in compliance because he did put up his fencing?
If there's work still to be done, then it's not
Then it's not done.
completed yet.
The fence is installed.
The fence is the fence is, from what I see, is done.
The buil-
They signed off on it like that?
Yeah, the fence is done.
Oh,
No,
building
well,
code is-
our
not
records show that the permit is still open.
Right. Can you see the inspections they had? Okay. They schedule a final?
Wait a minute, there's
Pardon.
too many people talking here.
Dana's getting updated.
so the fence is done, but they haven't called in for the final inspection yet. So there's still just that left.
And it's my understanding of building codes, there is a distance of the bottom of the fence to the ground. That's my
On the finished
understanding.
grade.
I think so.
But
That's
then-
why I thought maybe something with the building department, because I'm not
That number is,
sure.
I don't know.
It's, I think it's 4 or 6 inches. It's somewhere in that range, but it's also based on finished grade. That's not finished grade. Finished grade will be when the driveway and the landscaping is done. So you have to account for that. And so when you kind of plumb or fit things in anticipating the final grade, and that's how, so it's with the intention of it reconciles with what the picture reconciles with what they're saying.
Okay, but it hasn't been signed, the permit has not been completed yet.
That is still a fact.
Correct.
Oh, so maybe they can confirm, Yuli believes they actually have a driveway permit also. They just have to pick it up.
No, it's already picked
Oh, they did pick it up, but they're doing one project at a time.
But the driveway is not part of this.
No.
Right, but the driveway is, they're extending it out?
And the fence is the fence, and so the fence is completed.
Right.
If everything could be timed perfectly in construction, it would all be done at once with the right time, enough time and money.
Right, but does that fence as it exists there today
It's not-
satisfy the requirement for safety?
Yes, I can attest to that. Well, based on my experience as a licensed home inspector, pool safety is something that we have to inspect for the height of the fence and the height of the latch and the opening direction and the clearance from the ground and the minimum height, all that. Those are all check.
And they have self-locking latches. I can see that, their door
That would
handles.
be something that would have to be physically inspected, but yeah.
No, not quite yet. Has the fence permit been signed off on?
No.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
They just finished it, so they have to call for their final inspection.
Right. And then when was the board ordered the response to properly fence and secure the swimming pool within 10 days from the order? So when did that actually start and when did the fence get put up?
I saw them starting on the fence on Saturday morning,
Saturday morning?
this Saturday, December 3rd.
So from August until December 3rd.
Yes, they were waiting on material and their contractor kept calling me to let me know, hey, we're just waiting on the material, which is what they've been testifying at the meetings.
We don't actually know if the fence is the way it's supposed to be, according to code. We don't know that as of right now, correct?
Correct. It's not been signed off.
Okay. So in my opinion, it's still in violation until we know that it's complete. My 2 cents.
So order to continue.
Well, I think it has to have the inspection, which will tell us, when do you anticipate finishing the driveway and the landscaping, which will then fill that gap?
January or February.
Gentlemen, you're speaking about the driveway, concern is the fence. The driveway is gonna come up 3.5 inches. So the fence was put in.
Gotcha.
I understand that, yeah.
Our concern is the fence. So if you did come to try to make the meeting, October 25th was his continuance meeting. He got stuck in traffic for 4 hours. There was burning trucks, so he didn't make the meeting. Called the next day, came in to speak to the ladies. They told him there's not gonna be a meeting in November because of the election. So he showed up, he's complied, he's done the fence. The inspection is the day after tomorrow.
Oh,
Take that into consideration. He's doing everything legitimate and as fast as his contractor can do it.
and just so you know, the contractor that they have used to work here. So she knows the rules and things here too.
My
would-
suggestion be to continue it and call for the inspection. If you've got it already scheduled, as soon as the inspection passes, let Dana know. She can confirm that it's in compliance and the fine would stop that day.
Well,
And then you can come back in and
January.
ask for the fine to either be dismissed or reduced,
Understood. Thank you.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The driveway's going out your, like, wider, right? Up to the wall?
Como empieza la casa, solo se baja 4 pulgadas, solamente cemento. Por eso que se viene con la inclinación para que puedan abrir la puerta sin que haya problema. Va a aumentar.
Do they already? Well, I'm going by the site law.
So inside of the fence, it's gonna have a continuance in the back. And it's set with a pitch, so, because the door is so long, so when it swings, it needs the extra space to stay up. But that driveway is gonna still come up.
Right. And then where the grass is
There's gonna be a continuance in the back.
of the driveway.
Yes.
So the driveway is going to be wider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you already have the approved permit for the driveway extending it all the way there?
No. Yeah, he's got it, he says. And I think I heard.
Yuli said
Yuli-
they have a driveway permit that they picked up, but the
Yeah.
contractor is doing it's the same contractor.
Right.
So it's one project at a time.
I'm willing to do a motion to
Can-
continue.
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deb,
you want to make it?
Sure. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 220359, I move that this board continue this matter until the Code Enforcement Board hearing on January 25th, 2023.
Is there a
A
second?
Second.
Are you ready to vote? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for coming.
Gracias.
Thank you. I like your fence. It's so pretty. Looks very nice. Got to drive by it. It's different.
It is nice. It's the weave, the basket.
Yeah. It has like door handles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So
That's-
They did a good job on that.
the
house.
next case would be 2250, is that correct?
Yes, that's the gentleman with Mr. Shear with the
Yeah.
trellis.
Mhm.
I have had zero communication with him, but if
He
I
actually
last,
approached me on Saturday at the tree lighting ceremony.
Oh.
So that I have to disclose that he said, well, sorry, I don't know.
No, you
I
can-
just want to disclose that he approached me and I can share what he's at the appropriate time. I don't want him.
that's fine. I've had no communication with him. I would have thought he'd call me and tell me something.
Oh, okay.
But he isn't going to the zoning board until, is it January?
Oh, he
You
told me.
guys, you
No.
guys just wanted an update for him to come, right?
No, he went to the
Oh, he
zoning
did?
board in November and they're recommending
A
the
variance.
approval
Approval, yeah.
Oh,
of the
okay.
variance, and now it's gonna go to the town council
That's why we
next
said it,
week.
council.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so after that, I guess he's gonna have to continue the applications for his
For his
permit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
All right.
You would have thought he would call and tell me,
Tired of this.
but I'm glad he told someone.
Yeah, he didn't tell me with the intention of me delivering the message like that. Like he was just excited. That, hey, it happened
Good
just
for
a few
him.
days, and so He was
So
happy.
we're going to have a motion to continue.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
Okay, Jerry.
Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 22-0050, I move the board continue this matter until the Code Enforcement Board hearing of January 25th of 2023.
There a
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay. I have a question. Emily, where are we on the updating the trailer?
That I don't know. I think it's in the hand of the attorney right now, Charles Scheck, and I haven't heard from him, so I don't know what he's doing. Do you know anything,
Yeah,
Bill?
I haven't heard anything from Mr. Scheck.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments or questions?
W-
Adjourn?
Yeah, I'm just curious, and I think, Dana, if you would be kind, there's that one home that it's always had a history of trash, rubbish. There was, I guess that same street where the apartment building has.
Oh, Mr.
Jim Barbie?
Barbie.
I'm just curious what has been going on with that situation, because that was
It's
something.
just the ongoing fine.
when I sent, so every meeting or, before the meeting, when I send out the agenda to you, I also send the agenda and the minutes to the town council members. And I told them that there was a motion that was done about this case. And so, it's up to them if they want to do anything about it or not.
So that's what I thought, so there's nothing.
Nothing.
No.
So what do we need to do to, I guess?
Well, I think this is kind of a complicated issue because the house is homestead, so
Yeah,
there's not much I think that the town can do.
and certainly not us. Like,
I think maybe what the town could do is clean it up like we've done before, but that's difficult. So I don't know unless you have anything else to say about this, Bill?
No, it's been in litigation. There's several court orders. There's a court injunction ordering Mr. Barbie to keep the place cleaned up. But, going in and trying to get what are you going to try to get him thrown in jail or whatever? So I know the town council's aware of the situation and I think going to make some kind of decision on how to address it.
Well, going back to your question on the trailer issue, I came to the meeting, sat and listened, and I don't know how they're ever going to get to it with a meeting like that. It was so widespread. People were off the subject. It was just like, what the heck is this going on? They didn't.
There's
in
also
my
a lot of
opinion-
misinformation out there.
Yeah, in my opinion, they could have done a better job in directing what they wanted from the community than just saying there, well, what do you guys think? It's like, no, I think it's going to rain tomorrow. I mean, I'm sorry, but I didn't think it was very productive at all. It had some good information, but basically not very productive. And I don't feel that there's going to be a resolution anytime soon.
well, it gives them,
The thing is that when people can comment on pretty much
Sure.
anything. So,
I would think what would happen after, just be personal, I would think what would happen after the workshop is that the board, the council members communicating individually with the town's attorney could come up with a recommended new code to be potentially adopted based on whatever they heard at the meeting.
Right.
I mean, every other town in Florida has a code. There's no reason why ours can't be redone,
right.
and some people are not going to like it. I mean, let's face it. As individuals, we may not like it, but you have to have something better than, I mean, trailers are popping up all over the town now in driveways.
Is the moratorium going to sunset at some point? Or is that in perpetuity?
If I remember correctly, I think it's up to,
months, wasn't it?
yeah, I think it's going to end mid-January possibly, but
they
they
can
could
extend it.
extend it if they
Right.
wanted to.
Well, I would think that then by mid-January, we would get a feeling from council action as to whether they're going to extend it or propose an ordinance, right?
I would think so, yeah. I'm sure it will be on the agenda, for the January meeting.
Okay.
Well, we could ask the town council to give us feedback as to where they are with developing a revised code, couldn't we?
Yeah, if you would like, next week, there's a town council meeting on Tuesday and you can come and talk about it. Or you can also just reach out to the council members individually.
Would it help you if we recommended a code, like language to them and say, give them at least a starting point?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think we'd
No.
want two different boards trying to
Right.
come up with it.
We work at the direction of the council.
Yeah, I know.
So the council will tell us.
I work at the direction of my manager and sometimes I give him recommendations and he goes for it when
But I would think that they may have asked staff to compare ordinances from other
that's why I asked,
communities.
would it help?
Well,
if
staff may
nobody-
be working on that.
It may not be helpful. That's okay.
But like Emily said, you guys can attend the council meeting and talk.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was there.
We
at the
can tell them
workshop.
we need a code.
Yeah.
They already know that.
You're definitely going to have a code. They're just trying to figure out
What,
how they want to word it because some residents have 3 trailers and then other residents have a motorhome, a boat, and a jet ski. So they're trying to figure out what would be the proper etiquette for that for this town. They're
And I
going to
think we're
probably
gonna
be
make every-
concealed and they're going to still have to be on the side of the house. Like that stuff's
And no matter how hard you try, you're not going to
No.
be able to satisfy
Right.
every homeowner.
No.
no.
Okay.
Emily, you have on here, discuss board orientation workshop.
Yeah, so we were thinking about doing, we could do a separate meeting or we could do maybe before our next or before our code enforcement board meeting in January on the same date. Just have an orientation that would be done, I guess, mostly by the town attorneys, just to discuss like the motions, for example, or, the procedure for the board. And we're also, we should have a new board member in January. The person will be probably appointed next week. So I thought that would be a good time to do all this.
Sure.
Great. Thank you for that. Cause it takes a long time to get familiar with protocols and you have to, I had to figure, I'm just like everybody else has had to figure it out on their own
Mhm.
along the way. So I think this is great. And if we, to develop some kind of like an orientation packet for new code enforcement board.
Well,
members.
actually, we have one.
Oh.
Yeah, I can resend it to you again.
No, you were not here when I started back in 2014. You didn't work here. Did
No,
you?
I know that, but I sent it when I
Where is it?
did it. I created one. I think it was last year or maybe earlier
Oh,
this
yeah.
year, and I emailed it to everybody. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
So
I
you're
do recall that
proposing
now.
we meet Prior to,
Thank you.
Sorry, what?
you're proposing that we meet before the January 25th?
Well, it's up to you if you prefer to
So
have a
the option-
separate meeting just to talk about that, or if you want to do it right before the code enforcement board. So
What do you envision it taking? Like, how long do you think?
maybe 45 minutes at the most. I don't know. I would say between 30 minutes and an hour.
So would
We would need to
would
be
it be inconvenient to start the meeting at 6? If any of you, so we could have that
But that's, she's.
at the beginning?
But it's
saying
going to
it's gonna
take
go
longer
over
than,
that.
Well, 15, if it's 45 minutes, we start it.
Well, maybe start at 5:30,
To be safe?
or is that too?
I don't care.
are you ordering pizza for everybody?
Yeah, or you could start at 6 and if we don't get done, you could do your your regular meeting at 6:30 and we could finish up at the end.
That works for me as well.
That works for me.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll start at 6. Okay.
Just make sure you remind us though,
Yes,
Emily, please.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing this even though people come in early.
Well, people will not, they will come at 6:30, but the board, I mean,
We'll start.
anyone can come to the meeting at 6 PM, but, you know, the people that in violation, they will know that the meeting's at 6:30. So,
Anything else?
So that portion will be open to the public because we're gathered, right?
yeah. Mhm.
Mhm. There's nothing else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I
I'll make-
motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Anyone opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you for all your